Yeah, well, I'm Duncan Cameron. I'm the coordinator of Border Street Pastors. We cover quite a large area in the south of Scotland. We started off in Gala in 2016. We launched. There's a bit of history behind the story, but cutting a long story short, there was a tragedy in Gala 2014-15. Young guy had fallen and really had much to drink. He knocked his head. It was a freezing night, and long story short, he died from hypothermia. And it was quite a shock to the town that nobody had seen him, or if they had, they maybe just walked past him. And also, some events had happened in Hawick, and Hawick were looking at potentially starting street pastors. So I got a call from Ascension Trust Scotland, our parent organisation, and we got a group together and we looked to start setting up street pastors in the borders. So we launched in June 2016 in Gala, and we were out on a Saturday night from about 11 o'clock till about 3 o'clock. In the night time, and has changed over the years because we're now out in the day as well and different things. We get together, we have a time of prayer, we have a base at a church, a local church, we have a time of prayer, and then we call the police just to see if there's anything we should be aware of. Normally not, sometimes there is. Sometimes they're looking for somebody's missing, and they'll give a description. And then we go out, and in Gala we're mainly in the town centre, sometimes at the railway station. There's a big supermarket, Tesco's, they have a big car park underneath, we go there, round about where the nightclubs and pubs are. And the three words we use are listening, caring and helping. And we're out there just trying to keep folks safe. It depends. Some folk just want to chat. We have lollipops. We've given out about 16,000 lollipops over the years. Folk, can I get a lollipop? Yeah. How's your night going? All right. And then sometimes a story will come out, and somebody that they know they can chat to, that's not going to judge them. It's kept confidential, and it's amazing the conversations that come out. Something that's happening in their life, it could be anything. Family members died or a relationship breakup, and we do have faith conversations. The last patrol we had just on Saturday there, we had quite a good faith conversation with a couple of students who'd gone to church in their younger days and just were thinking about it, and we were able to just encourage. We don't preach on the streets, we don't bring faith up. That's very important, that's a part of our rules. But if somebody asks a faith question, then we'll open up to them as is appropriate.
And the three words, your key three words are?
Listening, caring and helping. And that's exactly what we do. We listen, we can care for folk if they've maybe had a bit too much to drink or a wee bit upset, come alongside folk and do the practical help as well. Things like the flip-flops, bottled water, lollipops. We'll have foil blankets if they're cold and things like that, maybe helping to the taxis and things like that. Yeah, when we first went out, folks saw the word pastor and thought we were out there to preach on the streets. And it takes time to get folks' confidence, to get folk to know you. And as times went on, the months have gone on and the years have gone on, folk know us as a safe space. We've had instances where somebody said, coming out the nightclub, there was a guy there I'm not really happy about, can I stay with you? Yeah, and they just stood with us or just stood behind us, just as a safe space, so that they weren't, until the guy went on his way and then they could go safely. It can be so many different things where folk, as I say, folk are a wee bit upset or whatever, they've had a bit too much to drink. They just want to chat. Yeah, when we're out, we don't directly be seen to be with the police as such because we want to be seen as separate, but we have a very strong connection with the police. Some initiatives have radios, and the police, especially in the cities, the police will say, could you go to such and such a street or such and such a nightclub? We don't have those here in the borders, but what we do is if we ask before we go out anything we should be aware of, and we can phone in if there's an incident that we need their help, which is very rarely, very, very rarely. They come from many different denominations of the church. We have folk from Church Scotland, Hope Church, the Baptist Church, Catholic Church, all denominations. It's open to all the Christian denominations, and they come from all over the borders. What we do is we encourage folk to come out as an observer. We have a jacket they can wear, it says Street Pastor Observer, and they can get a feel for what it's like. And if they're interested, there's an application form. There is a process. We have to have references, and we're part of the BVG scheme. And if all that goes through, and there is training, it's about 50 hours of training. We have a number of courses that are run. Some we do local people, other things have to be done by Ascension Trust Scotland, for example, roles and responsibilities, which is a day's course, and that's it's a full day's training. So there's a lot of training, and you come out and you gradually gain experience, and it goes on from there. Most of the time it's practical help and just general conversations, but occasionally, and it's a bit more than occasionally, folk will open up about faith. There was a lady one time that was out, and she was from another town, but a friend couldn't come because she was recovering from cancer. And we said, oh, sorry dear, we hope things go well, and we just said, would like to pray for her. Would you like us to pray? And she said, I really would like that. So if you can imagine the scene at 1 o'clock in the morning, all these folk around, we're drinking them, and the three of us and the lady just quietly praying. And it varies. We don't always know what the conversation is going to be, but it's amazing the number of times folk will ask questions, and we have to be prepared to give an answer that's appropriate at the level they're talking at. Yeah, we run as an independent charity, Board of Street Pastors. Every initiative is a separate charity, but we come under the umbrella of Ascension Trust Scotland. We give a proportion of our income to Ascension Trust Scotland for all the backup services they provide. Some initiatives have higher overheads than others. Some of the cities have a paid coordinator. Smaller initiatives like ourselves, we don't. It's all done voluntarily. The startup costs can be fairly high. There's uniforms and things, but there's always a way around. Things. What helps as well is being an area, because we're the borders, so we don't have Hoik street pastors, we don't have Gala shields and independent ones. We're all under one umbrella, which keeps the costs down as well. That's correct. Yes, it's especially since COVID, things have evolved. The nighttime economy is quieter all over the country. We help at a number of events in the borders. We have Rugby 7 events. We don't go to the event itself, but we're in the town where the folk can be drinking. We have in the borders common riding events where are big things for each town, and we can be at some of the towns just being there, listening, caring and helping. But we're also, for example, in Peebles, there was an issue with antisocial behaviour in the evenings. So it's taken time, but we've established a number of evening patrols there. So instead of late nights, we're out in the evenings. Mainly youngsters, and we're engaging with them, and it's been fantastic with the youngsters there. In Hoik, we've got a lunchtime patrol, and that's the sort of time when the school kids are coming out of the high school and things, so we try and engage a bit of engagement there as well. So it's evolved from nighttime patrols, which still happen, to evening, daytimes, whatever the community needs. We're guided by God. There are different aspects to street pastors. There are school pastors, there are rail pastors, all sorts of different initiatives doing the same work but in different locations. And I see evolving in Gala Shields and in the borders, not so much the nighttime stuff, but more daytime stuff, where we can engage with folk who are out in the daytime, youngsters, whatever. That sort of thing is more where I see street pastors evolving, as it has done around the country. But we're guided by God. We pray for God to guide us where to go, and inevitably where He guides us, it works.